What is happening with Novak Djokovic? The legendary champion, who dominated world tennis for years, is going through a complicated moment. After his surprising first-round elimination at the 2025 MUTUA Madrid Open, Noel delivered a speech that has worried all his fans. Are we witnessing a change of era in tennis? Stay with us, because today we're going to deeply analyze Djokovic's most sincere words. Novak Djokovic, world number 5, was defeated by Matteo Arnaldi in his Madrid debut, in a match where he looked far from his best level. The Serbian, who for 2 decades was synonymous with strength and resilience, now faces a new reality. It's been 20 years without experiencing what's happening to me over the past 12 months, he confessed after losing 6-3, 6-4. It's not just a matter of results, it's his own body that is starting to set limits that didn't exist before. In the post-match press conference, Djokovic was clear. He suffers more early defeats than usual and feels that his game, his physique, and his movement are no longer the same. It's a different feeling that I have to accept, he acknowledged, hinting at the hardship of adapting to this new phase in his career. However, Novak's greatness also lies in his mentality. I always try to be optimistic, I know what I'm capable of. Despite this harsh self-criticism, Djokovic has not lost sight of his major goals, the Grand Slam tournaments. I will give my maximum with what I have, he assured, placing all his hopes on shining once again in stages like Roland Garros. Although he admits that his body now presents new challenges, Noel is still hungry to compete at the highest level in the world's most important tournaments. This early elimination is not an isolated incident. So far in 2025, Djokovic also suffered early exits in Monte Carlo and Indian Wells, something unusual in his history full of triumphs. The wear and tear of such a demanding career is starting to take its toll, and he openly acknowledges it. It's part of the sport, and you have to accept the circumstances, he reflected, showing admirable maturity in the face of adversity. The honesty with which Novak expressed himself has left a mark on his followers, who now watch the immediate future of the Serbian with concern. Are we witnessing the beginning of the end of one of the most successful careers in tennis history? Djokovic, although aware of the difficulties, continues to show his indomitable fighting spirit and his intention to reinvent himself to remain competitive. The 2025 MUTUA Madrid Open is left without one of its biggest favorites, and the circuit feels the absence of the best version of Noel. Even so, all eyes will be on his recovery heading into Roland Garros, where he will seek to reconnect with his best tennis. As he himself said, "We'll see what happens, but if Djokovic has shown anything throughout his career, it's that you can never count out a true champion." Can you imagine defeating your lifelong idol on the court? That's exactly what happened to Matteo Arnaldi at the 2025 MUTUA Madrid Open. The young Italian caused the tournament's biggest surprise by eliminating Novak Djokovic, one of the greatest players in history, in straight sets. How did he experience such a special moment? We'll tell you everything right now. From the very first moments on court, Arnaldi confessed that nerves almost betrayed him. "At first, I just tried not to shit my pants," he joked with laughter. For the Italian, facing his idol was already a prize. However, after breaking Djokovic's serve in the first game, his confidence grew enormously. The youngster shook off the initial fear and managed to focus on his tennis, playing a solid match and enjoying every moment. His strategy was to use his deep knowledge of the Serbian's game, gained through years of admiration and study. Arnaldi admitted that having watched so many Djokovic matches throughout his life was a major advantage during the encounter. He was able to anticipate many of the Serbian's moves, something that, combined with his physical and mental state, allowed him to impose his game. He also admitted that facing Djokovic live is completely different from watching him on TV, where the speed and intensity aren't fully appreciated. This experience made him appreciate even more the magnitude of his victory. Although Djokovic is not going through his best sporting moment, Arnaldi did not downplay his triumph, calling it the most special victory of his career. Despite the ranking and experience gap, Arnaldi kept his composure and seized the historic opportunity in front of him. His respect for the Serbian was clear, stating that at Roland Garros and in best-of-5 matches, Djokovic is still an undisputed favorite. After the match, Arnaldi made it clear that this victory was something he would remember for the rest of his life. "I'm happy with how I played and with the victory, which is something I'll be able to tell my kids about," he said with a big smile. He also assured that he will not settle for this achievement and will continue working hard to face the world's best players again. This match's story will go down as a dream day for Matteo Arnaldi, but also as a symbol of how passion and preparation can overcome even the greatest idols. Arnaldi's victory over Djokovic represents not only a sporting triumph but also a moment of inspiration for all young tennis players who dream of reaching the top. In a single match, the Italian showed that childhood dreams can become reality with effort and bravery. Meanwhile, Djokovic faces new challenges in his career, at a stage where every tournament is a new test for his legendary legacy. Carlos Alcaraz is facing one of the most delicate moments of his young career. After pulling out of the MUTUA Madrid Open due to injury, new voices in Spanish tennis have not hesitated to issue warnings about his future. Is his planning putting his career at risk? How is he preparing for his main goal, Roland Garros? Let's find out. The Mercian, who had been struggling with discomfort since the final of the Conde de Godó against Holger Rune, confirmed his withdrawal from the MUTUA Madrid Open after detecting a tear in the abductor muscle of his right leg. His absence was a hard blow for Spanish fans and a worrying warning about the effects of a demanding schedule. In just 12 days, Carlitos played 10 matches between Monte Carlo and Barcelona, an effort that, according to some experts, ended up taking a toll on his body, showing that even the youngest are not immune to wear and tear. One of the most notable voices to point out this situation was Feliciano Lopez, former player and current director of the Madrid tournament. Lopez did not hesitate to issue a clear warning: you have to know how to choose where you play, especially for players like Carlitos, who have a chance to win the trophy every week. This criticism, far from questioning his talent, focuses on the need for better planning to avoid unnecessary risks and preserve his health in the long run. Feliciano insisted that it's not just about blaming his participation in Monte Carlo and Barcelona but acknowledged that the accumulation of efforts directly influences injuries. I don't want to say that playing Barcelona and Monte Carlo was the only cause, but it plays a role, he added, highlighting the importance of intelligent calendar management for players who, like Alcaraz, aspire to stay at the top for many years. Meanwhile, Carlos has tried to calm his followers, assuring that his injury is not serious but that he needs time to fully recover. With the Rome Masters 1000 still in doubt, his main priority now is to arrive in the best possible condition at Roland Garros, the second Grand Slam of the year and one of the most coveted tournaments on the circuit. Alcaraz knows that his success in Paris will depend not only on his talent but also on his ability to listen to his body and learn from these challenges. The experience of this setback could be key in Carlos Alcaraz's evolution, not just as an athlete but also as a professional capable of managing his career strategically. The greatest champions are not only distinguished by their victories but also by their intelligence off the court. Now, more than ever, Carlitos has the chance to show he is ready to learn, adapt, and come back even stronger. Carlos Alcaraz is one of the great promises and already realities of world tennis, but even the brightest stars need guidance and warnings on their way to the top. In his new Netflix docuseries, My Way, his coach Juan Carlos Ferrero delivers a blunt message that has set off alarms. Can Carlitos really become the greatest of all time if he doesn't change certain habits? Let's explore Ferrero's tough words and Alcaraz's vision for his future. During a sincere conversation captured in the documentary, Ferrero holds nothing back and warns his pupil that reaching the top of world tennis won't be possible without full commitment to the sacrifices required by the tour. You have to find the balance between vacations, training, and staying motivated, and that's not easy, says the former number 1 to an Alcaraz who admits that sometimes he plays out of obligation and loses sight of his passion for the sport. The dynamic between the two reflects an almost paternal relationship, based on demand but also on deep mutual admiration, which has been key to Carlitos' meteoric rise. Ferrero makes it clear that his model of total commitment is based on examples like Novak Djokovic, whom he describes as the ultimate exponent of professional dedication. Novak takes care of his diet, sleeps what he needs to sleep, trains what he needs to train, the coach says, stressing that such obsession with every detail is what has made Djokovic the greatest. For Ferrero, being happy on court is important, but he warns that to be the best in history, you have to be a slave to it. Although Ferrero admires Alcaraz's freshness and courage, he doesn't hide his concern. His understanding of work and sacrifice is different from ours, he says, questioning whether Carlitos will be able to sustain a career of excellence over many years with that philosophy. The Mercian's vision is clear: he wants to succeed his own way, combining his love for tennis with his desire to live like a normal young man. However, Ferrero reminds him that sports history demands something more: renunciations, discipline, and consistency over time. The coach even envisions a scenario where he might step away if his pupil decides to lower his ambitions. If you want to fight to be number 15 in the world, we'll lower the bar. But it would be very hard for me to continue. The pressure to maintain a level of 2 Grand Slam titles per year, as Rafael Nadal did at his peak, is presented as the standard if Alcaraz truly wants to sit at the legends table alongside Rafa, Federer, and Djokovic. The future of Carlos Alcaraz is bright but also filled with crucial decisions. His documentary shows us a young man who wants to forge his own path in tennis, enjoying the process, but it also reminds us that the top of the sport is not reached without extreme sacrifice. The tension between enjoying life and achieving eternal glory will be a constant battle for the Mercian, who will have to find his own balance without losing sight of his dreams. What do you think? Do you believe Carlos Alcaraz will manage to become the best in history while following his own rhythm? Leave your opinion in the comments and don't forget to subscribe so you can continue accompanying us on this exciting journey through the world of tennis. See you in the next video.